Hello and welcome back to the Morning Skate Podcast. I'm your host, TJ Mitchell, here with Matt Moody, who seems to be under the cover and the disguise of darkness. There he is. Welcome to the show. You just looked really dark when we started. We're back. Oops, all drafting. Do not do anything until you watch this stream. Yeah, Matt, how are you doing?
Doing great. We're just getting into things. Nothing to fill the void. It's just us and drafting here. So the people made it clear they wanted to do multiple drafts. So multiple drafts we will do.
Yep, I have it up on my phone. I'm going to throw it up on my computer as well. Multi-screen, just the way God intended. What do we need? 6? Yeah, 6 to join. So 5. So join up. Get ready. We're going to get right into drafting. Not probably a ton to really talk about beforehand. I think you had a couple of things maybe you wanted to share, or not even.
Nope, I have nothing.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I've been watching any of the CS moods. The CS.
Yeah. Counter-Strike Cologne. I am Cologne this week.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a very good day yesterday. Basically just had, a good team that won the high stakes stuff. And today I got bested only by Kayusuki, however you say his name, going absolutely apeshit. Because I had the nuts otherwise. But in the high stakes, one guy beat me by like 10 points. So it was a down day, but not a terrible one because I still cashed in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, that's my morning diet. When I wake up, I turn it on and I'll go back to sleep for a bit. Because it starts at like 7:40 or 7:30, I think. So I make sure the contests are all full, and if not, there's overlay, and then I go back to bed. So yeah, that
very
is
cool.
My morning. And then tennis starts at 11, so it's a nice little bridge between the two.
Well, let's counter Tom's argument of I thought we weren't supposed to draft until after the video. Well, guess what? You actually only have to watch 1 second to gather as much knowledge as we have, and you're good to go. So actually, you're fine. You've already watched 1 second. You're good to go. It just takes the clicks, baby. All I need are clicks, and that's all I need. Feed the content wheel.
That is DJ. He's just a content rat.
I beg to be liked. Hasn't worked so far. Anyways, let me get that out. Yeah, I was gonna say it's covering your face entirely. I don't think there's really any news to cover. I was kind of going through Elliot Friedman's Twitter, and it's just like, hey, Connor Timmins signed for 2 years, and it's like, okay, there's just nothing of value. Like Struble signed today, 2-year extension. I'm like, nice. So we are really in the dregs of summer. Tough break.
Indeed. I saw Down Goes Brown posted something that like today or Friday or something marked the 3-year anniversary of the Tkachuk for Huberdeau trade.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if we want to revisit that for a second, I feel like it was this very funny timeline of like every single person jumping all over themselves to say like the Flames won that trade, and you being like, you went further than me. I will give you that. You were even further down the Huberdeau is absolutely terrible. This was all a mirage. The Florida Panthers won this trade by a landslide. And I was like, I give this to Florida. No doubt in my mind, Florida won this trade. Matt Tkachuk, by far and away the best player. But like, honestly, not a terrible bit of work in return when you're losing the guy anyways. And man, did you look even more correct than me. But some of those comments, brother.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those things where everyone who thought that the trade was going to happen was like, well, this team thinks they can turn 5 nickels into $1. And then there was just like, there was 10 proposed trades, where it was all the teams doing that. And then, Florida went, hey, do you want to turn 3/4 into $1? And the Flames said, sure. And the league went, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? That's not 5 nickels. That's it was just, I think people set the baseline so ridiculously low for the return in that trade that like,
Yeah.
anything looked good in comparison. But yeah, clearly the
I,
Huberdeau take has aged well over the years. But
Again, I will go to my grave no matter what anyone says. You could literally be Jason Botterill and you could tell me. I will go to my grave that somebody that I trust told me that the Sabres had made a graphic for Matt Tkachuk being traded to Buffalo. I don't know why. Of course, it went awry, but I will hold it to my grave, like I said, that they had the best deal. They had multiple prospects and picks in place, and Calgary pulled the cord at the last second and said, never mind. Florida's come in with an offer. We think we can be competitive. We want to stay competitive right now. And I will take that to my grave. I trust the person that told me what they told me with quite a bit.
Yep.
So it is what, again, like it is what it is, right? The Sabres are always, they're at the dance and they ask the prettiest girl and she always says no.
Hey, we are live.
That was DJ's Sabres talk. Now we get to Happy Gilmore 2. Matt, have you watched yet?
I have not. Like I said, my mornings are taken up by Counter-Strike and tennis, and my evenings are taken up with not Happy Gilmore 2. But I will, because all the podcasts are out there. I mean, you mentioned it, and I was like, there's no way. And now literally every single podcast in my feed is like Happy Gilmore 2 review. And I'm like, what the hell?
There's
like
nothing else going on.
Yeah.
If you are a hockey podcast, you have to. It was definitely a big reason why I watched it on Sunday. Honestly, like I was totally fine waiting. And then finally I'm like, okay, I really want to listen to some of this content and I don't want to skip over it and never go back to it because I'm sure it's funny. So I just watched it, and the content around the movie was much funnier than the movie. I will let you be the judge, because I will say this. People went after me. They said I'm Scroogey McDuck and I don't like anything and I'm a sad sack. And what's funny is, like, I've talked to a couple of my friends that have watched it and they say like basically the same thing. Like, okay, Mr. Movie Critic Mitchell over here, freaking what the heck do you know? I think you should leave. You're a loser. And then I go over why I didn't like it. And they're like, no, you're right. It was terrible, but like, it's pretty funny. And I'm like, what we have to give them a freaking trophy because they made a movie that had a couple jokes that weren't terrible. Like, I don't know. Okay.
I mean,
what is something is off and I don't know what it is. Okay. Never mind.
What's off?
No, it is. My computer says, so when the pick goes, it says 20-second clock.
Wait.
I could only share my screen to show you. Like, I don't know what else to do. Like, if I shared my screen, like, I got so confused because I was like, wait, it says 18, 17, 16, 15. Like, if I share my screen, it's 20-second clock. I don't think it's functioning because the first it like broke on the first one. I'm like, what the heck just happened? He timed out. Oh, I think this guy's in the chat. That's odd.
Okay. A strange bug. All right. Wookie coming in hot with the Kaprizov at 4 take.
I do not mind it. I mean, it would take me a very little amount to convince me that Kaprizov beats Pastrnak. I do worry. No, the Mark. The thing is I'm on my computer. I opened a new window today. Doesn't that just refresh it? Like, I don't. If I was on my clock, but
God, yeah. No wonder he clapped on 8. It's an epic callback.
I mean, I have moved myself into a different room to stop this from happening, because no matter what and like, again, I've tried the devices. I've plugged in the freaking,
all right,
the super dildo 5000 freaking, I'll get your Wi-Fi from, Uzbekistan. It does nothing. It just doesn't fix it. I don't understand. That room is a cursed room that doesn't allow Wi-Fi. No matter what I do, I've hardwired it in and it still doesn't work very well. I don't know what to do.
Have you tried crying about it?
I'm doing that right now.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, we had a few comments here. Just we should acknowledge. What up, Chris? McCurds is in, donating money to the Sharks.
Brett wants me to clear out my history. Yo, no.
He's got some good stuff bookmarks. Don't you worry. Some Zach Benson highlights from last year. It's 35 seconds long.
I mean, it really was unbelievable. Like, I used to hardwire it in, and it would what would happen is, I honestly think it was my computer's fault. It would think Actually, I got a new computer since then, and I haven't been able to hardwire into this one. I need to find a new cord that can hardwire into my new laptop. My old laptop would work, and then it would decide, actually, you should go back to the Wi-Fi without me touching anything, and then suck again. I'd have to constantly be monitoring what was plugged in. So I got a new laptop that doesn't have a hardware plug-in for like what cord I had. I don't know what cord to buy. I'm stupid. I'm bad at this. Anyways, there goes Matt the Chuck. Pick 17. Could have been a saber. Would have gone much later. We're back on track.
Yeah, fun little relic though. My company was contracted by the Monopoly ISP in Buffalo, and I got a peek behind the hood at like their NPS scores, and Buffalo is their worst performing market. Like everyone there just hates their internet provider, and they have like a monopoly on the entire region. So DJ's internet being shit is not a surprise. Because
everybody's is. Everyone I know is always like, yeah, my internet absolutely sucks. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
totally true. It's the only bad thing about this city. Everything else, perfect. No notes. We have everything. It's a great city. Anyone that makes fun of Buffalo is stupid. Have you seen Bruce Almighty? Hilarious movie. We're talking about good movies.
Oh boy. What up, Stoner? Welcome.
Other than the
almost going to best puck. I mean, you don't draft best puck until you watch this, unless you're drafting with us, and then it's okay. So yes, thoughts and prayers for Buffalo Stoners.
The thing is the Buffalo Stoners have it best. We just don't have chains. Like we have like all of the bar food ever. Like
many bars, and they're open bars here,
and they're open late, and stoners go to these bars and they eat chicken wings and chicken fingers and things. Like we have some chains. I don't know. We could go into the fast food talk at some point. We can cover the top of the boards right now. I actually don't think anything was that outlandish so far.
No, the one guy I didn't recognize, that JS guy taking Matt Tkachuk. Not a real surprise there. I think we knew this last stream, but just reiterating that it's been reported that Matthew Tkachuk could miss through Christmas thanks to the injury he has. Obviously, he's prioritizing the Olympics and the playoffs because he's a Florida Panther. I would not expect Matthew Tkachuk to be on any of my drafted teams unless we get a significant dose of news that is vastly different than what is currently the assumption that basically I would be shocked if he played more than 35 games this season, honestly. And sure, maybe they come in the right weeks, but I just don't think that's good enough to warrant a second round pick, regardless of how productive he is in those games.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't feel great coming off the Stanley Cup, where he was involved enough, but definitely didn't seem 100%. And I think it's definitely a wait and see. I haven't heard anything, but I don't think we will. But it does kind of go back to everybody right now is like, how are the Florida Panthers going to possibly pull this off? It seems like they have to trade this guy. And it's like, well, LTIR, I don't know. I mean, I know they're getting rid of the thing, but oh boy.
I don't have a single Sid share yet. I'm just going to take it a little past ADP.
Yeah, I jumped the line and took Cole Caulfield in the third round. I just think I like him more than Werenski in point, and probably Macklin, all things considered, when I already have Austin Matthews. I've done the double center up top thing. I kind of want to change it up. I feel like Caulfield is a little undervalued right now, to be honest. Just hasn't quite had the climb I thought he'd have, especially
Here's the main reason Sid sort of was a standout candidate to me is the first week of the playoffs. I've shared this before. It's pinned in the Discord thanks to Tart Blueberry who put it together. But Pittsburgh plays 5 games in the first week of the finals. So if Sid gets you to the finals, those 5 games, he gets such a leg up on the rest of the field. He's not guaranteed to score or to separate, but it's something that's interesting enough to me that even though I think Tage is a better pick, I do want some Sid. And what better spot to take him than a few spots after ADP? So, I'll just happily do that. I also was listening to Jack, is it Jack Miller, I think, was on Pete's Best Ball After Dark last night.
Ooh.
and that was pretty interesting. He talked a lot about how Best Ball Mania, football data suggests that people might even be over or like underrating just ADP value when drafting. If you go back and read the manifesto I wrote from last year, it also shows that strong outcomes are deeply correlated with taking players after ADP, basically getting ADP value on your selections. So it's not a change or anything, but I just want to note that as well, because I thought that was an interesting conversation. And then the people are like, hey, Moods, do you want OV 6 spots after 80 or 5 spots after ADP? And I say, yes, please. I will take OV well after
The
ADP.
oldest roster ever. Matt Moody
That
Award.
is true.
I mean,
Sid and OV. Let's do it, baby.
I mean, Miko isn't that old or young. I mean, he's kind of, he's probably 30, right? Almost, at least 28, 29, 30.
28. I think that's right.
Yeah, 28 sounds right. I don't know. I mean, I have nothing. I like Crosby a little bit more than Ovi. I don't think that's going to be that hot of a take. It feels like the Penguins are going to do everything they can to at least keep some of that magic alive, but we're going to see. Oh, man, I hate this world. All right, I don't care what happens. I'm taking Gunther.
Oh, wait, no.
I just can't. I listen, if someone takes Suzuki from me, they take Suzuki from me. I like the Caulfield Suzuki pairing. I'm happy it got to me, but I'm never getting Gunther back. If they want Suzuki bad enough, they can have him. Well, sadly, I believe there he goes. No, my thing is wrong, and he goes down. Okay, see ya.
Yep.
Tough noodle there. I just don't think there was a single world where I was getting him back to me. I love the correlation, but I'm not paying that price. Like, I jumped on Caulfield early, so if I could have gotten, I don't know, it's fine. It is what it is. One of the better correlations, but sometimes you just cry. You just cry about not getting what you want.
Indeed.
We have seen, what I have noticed more and more over time is the tethering to ADP that's going on, where like Marchenko has climbed to the position that Werenski is going at this turn. Exact same thing where Caulfield and Suzuki are kind of tethered together at ADP. They're going to be really popular pairs anyways. Does that make you at all nervous, knowing that there's very specific popular pairings that are going to be incredibly common? Or do you think it's like, well, how many times are they actually going to come together? This, that, the other thing. Any nerves there? Or does not bother you? I don't really think about it.
That's not something that I'm concerned with. Like, it's fun to be the fancy play expert and have the hottest take in the room, and I'm certainly privy to doing such a thing. But I think in this case, taking it as it falls out naturally is totally fine. Reaching a little bit, we've shown, is okay to complete a stack, but continually over and over again prioritizing stacking over ADP value is hurtful in the long run. It's a balancing act, but generally speaking, because they're going to be, highly owned together, it's not that big a deal. Outside the first couple of rounds, like, I would be very careful. Like this year, I really like Eichel and Marner, but in years past, I think we've said the thing about Stützle and Tkachuk, and then Barkov and Tkachuk 2 years ago, where they were going, the 1-2 turn. That's where I'm a bit more concerned, just because the opportunity cost of having a true league winner in the top couple of rounds, like, I'm not willing to take thinner bets. But when you get to round 4, round 5, where Suzuki goes, it's not that big of a drop off. Like, sure, Elias Pettersson could bury you, but it's far less likely than, say, Mikko Rantanen burying you. It's just a little bit different when you're thinking of the thinner bets at the center position.
Yeah. So, I mean, what one part of this stream was going to be about polarizing players. I think at the top of the board, the first round, it's kind of hard to find a player that's ultra polarizing as far as
I think
where
we're
they're
just
going.
drafting. We're just drafting, sir.
Can I please just have my moment? Would you mind? Is it bothering you? Can I just 1 second go off on my piece here, and then
you're ruining the vibes.
Anyways, get into the second round. I think Matt Tkachuk is the obvious polarizing piece we've already discussed, where we're kind of fading him right now. Round 3, I do think it's a bit of the Werenski Bouchard the defenseman, the quad. Like, are you going defenseman that early? And when you get into round 4, Connor Bedard comes to mind. One of the cover boys today. I think we're drafting him. But what is your bull and bear case on Connor Bedard? Or are you just bullish? Are you just a bull person on Bedard?
Bedard is he's good. The bear case is he's actually not that good, and the team is really shit around him. I really can't piece together anything more. Like, I mean, I could do what I did last week and go over all the stats in Bedard's favor, but like everyone watching, I think, knows the insane prospect profile he had, and we argued Celebrini and Bedard. Like, we did all this, so I don't think it's worth relitigating.
We don't need to relitigate anything. We're just riffing. We're talking puck. We're having fun. We're drafting.
That's what I'm trying to steer you into.
We are, but like as we're doing it, we should create conversations and buzz. And you know what? Connor Bedard is a buzz type of person. He's a buzz player. Buzz Aldrin, I believe.
All right.
So I think it's really just comes, like you're saying, it comes down to your belief on how skilled this player is. I am in on buying on Connor Bedard because I will believe that he is better than Macklin Celebrini until I continue to be proven otherwise. And last year, I think we were proven to an extent, but I'm not going to let it completely cloud my judgment. Within the next round, we find a player that I drafted, Elias Pettersson, where we've seen the peak of legitimate, I believe he was top 5, if not top 10, but probably we'll call it top 10 fantasy output in really any format imaginable. And we've seen the valley of last season. So are you going to buy back in on Elias Pettersson at his current ADP, which I got a little bit of value on? It's around, I believe, 48, 49.
If he stays healthy, he's playing with Quinn Hughes, and we saw many a player have a productive season with Quinn Hughes. So I think it's totally fine. I don't feel super strong about that. Like, this entire 5th round just feels like pretty meh to me. Like, I love Mitchkov as much as the next guy, but
on the clock.
He's just flying up the board. I am. Okay.
You are.
Well, because we're just having random convos, it's hard to follow.
Well, you're welcome for being a good friend and not letting you auto pick Alex Tuch when you want. I believe Kevin Fiala.
Yeah.
Very brave of me. Very brave.
I'll take Tuch.
No, he takes Tuch. All right, never mind.
Why not?
I stand corrected. I think that like the Elias Pettersson thing is that he's going to fall, especially as more slappies get involved and they go, look what happened last year. I'm not. And it's like, okay, well, if you did that with Zach Werenski last year, you were an absolute idiot. I mean, we were certainly banging the drum that Werenski is one of the better picks at 100 or whatever he was going. He climbed the board a bit because, but I think the opposite effect will happen with Pettersson, where people, especially people that aren't well informed and don't have any, ability to look past last year, are just going to completely, find themselves in the boat of fading him. And I think he'll end up in the 50s. So I'm sort of taking a stab at him at 51, knowing that's not going to be the peak of where he's gone, but I don't think it'll be the valley either. So I'm willing to buy the stock as it falls for sure.
All right. I have a couple goalie options if I want to wrap up the room, but I think I am going to take Josh Morrissey here.
Yeah,
he's fine. I don't have any Winnipeg pieces on this team. Could add Velarde late if I wanted to. I could go Perfetti super late if I wanted to, but I think Morrissey's a perfectly viable, I guess almost pick 100 type defenseman where he can have a stealing season, or he could just have a pretty normal season. But we know he has week to week upside with that power play and with his, bona fide number 1 D-man role.
I like it. Hold on. Let me just check something before I make my pick. Nope. Move.
Oh
yeah. It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
I thought it's getting to the point now where I'm starting to remember which teams, so your chart here, I have it on my phone right now. Actually, it's not really coming into view. Washington, Tampa, 22 games of in the green. So I remember I was like, I'm pretty sure Washington Tampa is a really good one. And I'm using that more for goalies than anything else. I mean, it matters everywhere, but I think goalies, it's like particularly of note. So Vasilevsky, Logan Thompson, and net spreads that wealth a bit more. And hopefully spreads a lot of starts out where they can, both help each other in a sense. I think that is something I'm keeping an eye on for sure as I'm drafting, and I have this up every time. So thank you for that. And if anyone wants this, it's in the Discord. Matt, you want to give a quick elevator pitch again on exactly what this chart is, so I don't do a disservice.
Let's see. Are you sharing screen, or should I share?
No. Oh, you can share if you want. Oh, I'm on the clock.
Yes, you have 10 seconds. Yeah. So let me drag this guy over. This is posted in Discord. This is basically, it's called the Manhattan distance between every team's schedule. If you think of each week as a set of games, some teams will play 3 games, other teams will play 4 games. Like I showed with Pittsburgh, randomly, sometimes we'll have 5 games in a 7-day span. It just happens. And other times there'll be 2 games, whatever. What this does is it takes the distance between each week, between the 2 teams, and over the course of an entire season takes the absolute value of those distances, and the highest numbers mean you have the longest distance between each other, and therefore you get more coverage. Thank you. You get more coverage with your selections, for the same price, basically. All right. I am going to wrap up goalie here. I took Willie. I can go Stolars. That seems fine.
Yeah. I felt like there was a couple players I kind of liked at my pick, but I really sort of like the idea of wrapping up goal as well. I've been getting more and more bold as time goes. Not bold, I guess. I'm getting more willing to draft goalie a little bit earlier than ADP, as I believe it's just going to continue to climb up the boards. With a lot of the goalies in this range are just going to continue to climb.
Yeah, I mean, we see what happens late in drafts, and it's just really hard to find reliable starters, late in drafts. It's just the way it is. I had a thought of holding out for San Jose because Askarov plays 4 games in each week in the finals, whereas Kemper and Adin Hill only have 3. But I looked at the board quick and I decided I didn't really want anyone here, and I don't think it's ever a bad pick to just grab a goalie. Over and over again. That's very consistent the last 2 years now. I believe 3 years even, but my R stuff with EV calculation and whatnot has like early goalie as like the best thing you could possibly do, regardless of whether it's, the Hellebucks and Vassies that go ape shit like last year, or if it's just other guys. But once you're guaranteed to get like 50-55 starts, like that's the golden ticket right there in goal. You can't really control how the goalie fares. It's just a matter of getting the volume in. So
yeah, I mean, like I do think it would be incredibly misguided to assume the Sharks are going to be actually good, but they don't need to be good all season. They just need to be good when it counts. Yeah. And that kind of a stab is absolutely worth taking. And it's going to drive him up. I mean, it's just going to drive his price up. And yeah, I mean, as Adam's pointing out as well, the stream rooms are annoying with goalie reach because a lot of sharp drafters are in these rooms and they know, as you mentioned also in your manifesto, it's like, it doesn't really matter today what ADP is entirely. If you are projecting that ADP is going to move a certain direction because of, the knowledge of how these draft rooms are going to continue to move, which is probably sharper and sharper over time. If you have any foresight into that, you're going to get ahead of the curve, which I think is what happens in these rooms more than others. So it is the kind of the nature of the beast, and it sucks sometimes to sit there and say, I'd love to add this player to my team, but losing in net is just, I can't have it. So yeah, I mean, Matt, while you make your pick here with 5 seconds to go, 4, 3, 2.
I'm just gonna let it take Dougie.
All right. Yeah, I have a couple Dougie shares. Again, he is really fallen. I'm about to be back on the clock. I have a 2-3-1-3 going right now with Austin Matthews and Elias Pettersson. I started from the 103 spot. my wingers, a good young core of goal scorers in Cole Caulfield, Dylan Gunther, and Lucas Raymond. I pair Raymond with Moritz Seider. I mean, I don't love the pick, but he feels a bit like a he's going to get the rates. Can the power play role actually come together for him? And if it does, will he be able to parlay that into some points to go along with the hits, the blocks, and the shots, which have come on? And then Nat Vasilevsky, Logan Thompson, like I mentioned, a really, really strong pairing of spreading out those games as you talked about, and Jeremy Swayman to close it up. I'm going to grab another player that I've grabbed quite a bit of. Hope that he stays healthy all season long and goes with Dylan Gunther on the first power play and Mikhail Sergachev. I have been spreading a lot of my wealth. I think by pick 118, I'd like to try to have a few guys all over the place. I don't love my winger room right now, but there's a couple options I do like here that hopefully one of them will make it. I have some faith because I believe Bates is auto drafting that one of them should get to me, I hope. Well, if Bates auto drafts Rube Hintz, he will. If Bates takes Uri Slafkovsky, then he takes Uri Slafkovsky for me. I mean, Uri is hopefully going to have a lot of opportunity on the top power play to move the puck over to Cole and sometimes maybe even cash in some rebounds that Cole takes shots on. Last year, he was going even earlier than this. Oh, my fuck me. Okay, well, there goes Uri Slafkovsky. I go to sleep. I did not get my pairing, but that is the way of the world. I will take Owen Tippett. I think that the Owen Tippett of last year can be scary, but there's no Torts. I would be very surprised if there isn't a bit of a conscious effort to put him in a better situation. And I really do think that if he is able to be on a line with Michkov, honestly, I mean, even if he's just centered by Zegras, I know you could sit here and say Zegras sucks or whatever, or Zegras is on a line with him, but he can create. Like, that has never been his problem. And Owen Tippett can absolutely rip. So I'm optimistic that he can be a good bit better.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. It's just a matter of getting the opportunity. And I think with a new coach, with theoretically a new system, Tockett's teams have played much more wide open. I think that'll serve his skill set better. This JS guy is just absolutely clowning. That is his sixth center, possibly autoing, but
I don't certainly start. You're on the clock. I could look.
Let's grab Velarde to go with Morrissey.
Let me look. Where is he? JS. Leon. No. Every one of these looks like a value.
Yeah, so people have been taking Carter Hart. I have not seen any more smoke, but again, everyone's at the cottage or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
other than just Edmonton's actually not interested, which I don't know. It could be nothing, could be something.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, the Carter Hart thing, again, just looking at it from a strictly fantasy perspective, it's like he hasn't played competitive hockey in a few years. I just think it's pretty far-fetched to assume he's going to actually be fantasy relevant in this format next season, even if he does sign, which again, we don't even know if that's going to be true. All assumptions would be that he's doing all of the things that you would want to see from him to get an NHL team to try to bite on that and hopefully not get a ton of backlash. I don't know. I think, but again, the bull case on him is that I think gets 20 starts. Right? I mean, what does it look like? I just don't think you're clicking the button, personally right now. And how good was he?
I mean, we're talking about goalies, who cares? It's about the opportunity he's going to get. And I just don't see a world where, barring injury, he's getting, 50 starts in a season, or he's getting, 30 of a team's last 45 starts down the stretch. Like, I just find both those scenarios so far-fetched. Whereas I think it's even more likely that, like, Tristan Jarry or Sam Ersson or there was one other guy that we talked about last show, but that one of those guys, takes the net and runs a bit. Like, who the hell was it? Maybe you moved him up the board. I don't know.
What,
I feel
Vladar,
like there was
Fedotov?
no, there was someone you drafted last show, I think.
Lion?
Anyway. Yeah, was it Lion?
I
don't
drafted
think so.
Lion, but you were a bigger proponent of a different player that I didn't
Oh,
draft.
Talbot. I was thinking Talbot, honestly.
Okay.
Because Gibson, if Gibson's the Gibson that we think he's gonna be, then obviously he's
it was
starter, but...
Seeloff's. It was Seeloff's. Wookiees
Oh
way. That
yeah.
was who
Yes, good call. Good
it
call.
was.
Yes.
I had Talbot as well. That it was Seeloff's who I think actually was the guy that we were like, oh, maybe,
Yeah.
but I didn't end up
Yep.
pulling the trigger on it.
Yep.
Well, I yet again was going to take JJ Paterka, and Bates yet again fisted me. I will
Congrats.
grab Jared McCann and close out winger. So my winger core: Caulfield, Gunther, Raymond, Tippett, Brock Besser, who I didn't mention yet, but I took Brock Besser to go with Elias Pettersson. Don't know if that correlation is going to be super strong, but you have to assume it's power play one correlated at the very least.
We're gonna,
yeah, it does exactly. Yeah. And then Jared McCann, I just continue to kind of grab this guy. I get that he's getting a bit older, but who is going to score goals on Seattle? Is it entirely possible that he could have a bit of a bounce back season?
The answer might surprise you.
I mean, like, he's going to shoot. Like, I'm not. Here's my last winger in probably here. I feel pretty good about it. Like, he could score.
Oh, I see what you did. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
It doesn't matter where we are.
The real answer though is they don't have the score. I mean, this team they might just stink out loud again. But all right, I have the entire board open to me besides goalie. With my Nylander share, I'm just gonna wrap up defense because Morgan Rielly, I think, is still a very strong value here. And then that leaves me just needing to fill the forward slots. And I could easily make this a 4 center build. I probably could make it a 5 center build if I really wanted to. But I don't think I need to, given some of the options at the top here. I'm fine with that wing. But yeah, interesting stuff here.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find more correlations that I want. I don't know. Right now I have the Pettersson, Besser, like I mentioned, the Raymond, Seider, and the Gunther, Sergachev, little minis. I have Austin Matthews. I don't know.
Do I need to be concerned at the frequency which DJ references fisting?
No, you should be.
Being concerned for DJ is just, they don't go well together. Just don't bother. Just let him live in his own little world.
Nobody gets. No, I'm sure there are people that get more upset at their best ball drafts. There are very few people that get as upset as I do at best ball drafts.
And to be clear, DJ Bates was not sniping you on purpose. So right there with your everyone's out to get you mentality. He claims he was not.
The master bait mentality that he's masturbating, and it's frankly uncalled for, if you ask me. But
God,
yeah, I mean, I get it. I would have liked to have my cake and eat it too. And I'm sitting there like, who am I more worried about, Besser or JJ? And I'm like,
what if the Slappies are right and Protas is just the next greatest player in NHL League history ahead of Tom Wilson, who I have like 20% of? What if he gets a power play 2 job with Ovi playing both power plays? And what if he scores 30 goals again and has bigger offensive goal?
Can I say the line here that I feel like you're gonna be like, you're gonna say I'm wrong, but like, remember when you hated Kuzmenko and now you're drafting Protas? Like, I know it's not exactly identical, but it's like, hey, the guy that doesn't shoot at 30 goals, and it's just like, and now you're like, well, maybe. Maybe he'll start shooting now.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll get some assists on Ovi's goals. Maybe that'll happen. All right, let's see what the board's up to.
I'm gonna do the homer thing here.
DJ grabbing another Josh Norris share.
I can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I mean, Josh Norris should be on that top power play. He should be. Like, he should be on the Sabres top power play
if he's healthy.
And therefore, he should also be in the top 6. I don't see him playing with Tage. I don't see it personally, but like I'm okay with that. I think the problem with Josh Norris is he going to have prolific rate shooting? And we frankly have not seen that in a long time. And you could blame injuries because that's probably why, but it makes me a little bit queasy. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a strong take there. I love Josh Norris, so I am packing my bags, but not going to go overboard or anything until we have like you're saying, oh, actually Norris, Tage, Tuck has been the top line for the eternity of training camp. All right, then maybe I'll go over the moon for Josh Norris.
I'm grabbing Brant Clark. I really am starting to fall for Brant Clark again.
Oh boy. Okay.
I mean, there's no way they could be stupid again, right? Do you realize he had 121 block shots?
Yeah, he's a monster.
I'm not trying to say that's obviously not the end all be all, and far be it from me to say the guy that, but like he had 33 points, 9 on the power play, and 121 block shot. Like he blocks the puck. Like if he gets a big role, I don't know, man. I'm looking at this Brant Clark situation. I say it could be crazy.
All right. Screw it.
Oh my God, you're so dumb. Okay.
The old man draft. We're just taking the dustiest old players possible.
Crosby's the manager at Vulcan.
What if
2009?
What if Gino is just like, hey, coach, I want to play with Sid, and Sid goes to the coach and says, I want to play with Gino, and we have that incredible top line that we had for like 2 weeks last season, where Sid was playing with Gino, and it made me so happy. What if we get that again and Gino makes a turnaround from his last year of disappointment, not sugarcoating it. But if I missed out on Rust and Raquel, which after the draft I'm going to do a quick inventory of where I missed on them, I might as well take something fun here because I don't love the way this team shook out, but I like getting my little mini correlations.
I mean, honestly, I feel like your team is. We'll go over it at the end before we get into draft number 2. It is an interesting team you've built. I'm going to definitely take one more center. I'm going to raise the question to you, but I'm going to obviously wait until you pick at least. I'm going to cue a few guys, and I will let you make my final call.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's any complete Galbrain takes I can fire off down here.
Shane Pinto.
Ooh. It's actually not super Galbrain, but
no, it's not.
What if Josh Norris gets hurt and Yuri Kulik goes, hey, actually, I'm the left shot replacement for JJ Peterka. That stacks well with Alex Tuck. What if?
Yeah, I think if Kulik is on the top power play, we're gonna look like damn fools for not drafting him. But currently, he is not. I'm going to assume Bakurds is going to take a center. He does. He takes one of the guys that was in my queue, so I will add another.
Okay.
I did have Shane right in the queue.
Of course.
I assume it's going to be right with McCann. No?
Maybe. I think we're going to see basically anything beyond the Dunn-Larson pairing is going to be shaken up next season.
The 4 centers I have in my queue as I'm on the clock are Marco Kasper to go with that Detroit, Sider and Raymond, Matt Beniers to go with McCann, Matt Duchene because why not, and Philip Hedel to kind of go with the core, the Vancouver.
I think Hedel or Kasper is your take there. I don't think Beniers. I don't think Beniers has the point per game type upside that you're looking for. He would need to have a 95-point season, I think, to really be worth anything. The way that he doesn't shoot, he doesn't block shots.
I mean, Marco Kasper pretty silently was a pretty good all categories player in this format with hits, shots, and blocks. Like in the right weeks, he probably was around scoring. Obviously not drafted. So I have faith if he grows. And like this is a highly touted prospect. This isn't nobody, right? This isn't Kiefer Sherwood. This is like a real player. It feels like. So I think I've come around on Marco Kasper in Detroit stacks. He still has the power play run, so why not?
Okay. So the draft is done. Bushnevich was last off the board. So real quick on my front, I went Miko at 9, ahead of Jack Hughes, Brady. Nylander took Sid, Ovi, added some dusty old guys with Darcy Kemper and Aiden Hill, Alex Tuck, Josh Morrissey, Anthony Stolars, Dougie, Velarde, Mika, Morgan Riley, Protas, Gino, and Yuri Kulika 4-6-3-3, where I took Sid early, waited for the end of the draft for the other 3 centers. Otherwise, I think a pretty standard draft. I just wanted to see where the Pittsburgh guys went because I didn't queue them. I just want to make sure I didn't do something incredibly stupid. Okay, it looks like I took Stolars ahead of Brian Russ. That's probably a mistake. I'm not sure what Russ ADP is, but had I noticed, I probably would have clicked him over Stolars, and just taken the goalie that got back to me between Vejmelka, Stolars, maybe UPL. I don't know. Something like that might have made sense for this build, but I wouldn't have gotten Dougie, and I love Dougie. So, all in all, not a huge deal, but that's the one thing I would change about that, missing on Brian Russ there to stack. Otherwise, I got some decent mini correlations, and I feel okay with everything else I did. We talked about it. DJ, your team?
Yeah, Austin Matthews at the 103, Vasilevsky, Cole Caulfield, Dylan Gunther, Elias Pettersson, Lucas Raymond, Mort Seider, Logan Thompson, Jeremy Swayman for the very, very good goalie core that I love. Mikhail Sergachev, my second defenseman in after Seider, Owen Tippett, Brock Besser, Jared McCann, Josh Norris, Brant Clark, and Marco Casper. Lot of power play shooters, a lot of guys that have 30 goal seasons behind them, and hopefully 40 goal futures. Next lobby needs 5, Matt. I did just join. If you want to jump in to the next one, I'm guessing we'll run 2 if we get it done quick. Yeah, it won't be done very fast. So,
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I just joined it. We need 4. Otherwise, there were some comments here that probably are worth
run the comments.
Into. I did see, let's see, this one. Adam says 3 goalies before pick 110 is not sharp. I obviously would need to consult the full data to drive that point home. He defends it with the flex now being more important, and I think in a vacuum that's right. However, the alternative case is one, just the staggered nature of the schedule means that some goalies are just locked into 2-start weeks and others get 3 starts. So having 3 guys that could potentially have those 3 starts in a week, because it's pretty rare that a team's going to start their goalie Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday throughout the entire playoffs. It's the modern NHL. The draft is starting, so I will try to make this quick. But also remember that we're not drafting guys who literally have line 1 power play 1 jobs, at the forward position. Vince Dunn, like there are even defensemen, Aaron Ekblad, who have a very good chance to play 20 plus minutes a night and be on the top power play. You're not getting a goalie who's going to be a starter late in drafts. So there's sort of that push and pull mentality of there being 32 starting goalies in the NHL. And there being, 190 something forwards that are power play 1, that 190 skaters that are power play 1. Well, that doesn't make sense either. 150 because there's 100 and something. How many picks are there? 192. So you're talking about guys that theoretically could be line 1 power play 1 here. Not a given for sure. But there's no argument that the goalies are. And so, yeah, you could argue that maybe I should have taken, an Askarov a couple of rounds later. But ultimately, I'm not that worried about it. The data has shown pretty steadily that just not using goalie. Oh my God. Did I get a McDavid? No, I didn't.
No, you got good, but not McDavid. Yeah.
Yep.
Just wanted to do that. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my general take. On the goalies and it being sort of a decent build regardless of the flex being more important. We'll see how it bears out. Obviously there's no real way to mimic last year under the old settings, Hold on. What was I trying to do? Oh, I was trying to get the current draft up. That's what I wanted. So let's do that. Let's get the draft up.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, the argument isn't. It's like the meta is. I don't want to say it like that. I think that the way goalies are going at this rate, it's a good opportunity to buy them now when the price is going to adjust later, and they're only going to go earlier. So like, I just don't know if I'm thinking about it in that light of like, well, if I take 3 goalies now that this early, I'm losing potentially at flex when I think that there's number one, there's a lot of players down the board that I like quite a bit. Like ADB is not settled. I think I could still win at all the positions, but I know goalie is only going to go earlier and earlier. And especially in these drafts where I'm just going to end up losing. And like losing in net, I feel like is more dead than losing at wing, where you can maybe look into a guy later in the draft that kind of ignites. It's just easier for that to happen.
You can get lucky from any position. You know, you can get lucky at center, you can get lucky at goalie. But just the steadfast nature of like there being 20 goalies that we know are going to be the starter just makes me want to prioritize those guys, even if it comes at a slight cost to my wing 4 or whatever it is.
And I think that the smart mentality is to look at what happened last year with like a Dustin Wolf and say like, who could possibly do this? And like, you know, Sheloff is a good example. Obviously Pittsburgh is bad, but everyone thought the Flames were bad. What if Sheloff is really good and can steal some games? Even if it's not to the same level over the course of the entire season, could it be in big enough stretches that it matters? Like there's smart buys that you can make that can help you in net, but like, you're getting absolutely dummied in net if you don't have one of those top guys to go along with it. Like I'm okay with pushing it. Like I took Vasilevsky. I probably could have pushed it on Swayman. I did. Like, I think that was one thing that I might look back on and say, like maybe you should have gone with someone better.
Devin Levi. Devin Levi. There you go. All right. And then the other thing, Cool Smurfer asked thoughts on the 2 defenseman strategy. I've looked at my teams and going with one of the top 5 guys and then a top 20 guy. The 2 flex makes it feel like more points to be had by wing and center. That is absolutely true. I do agree with that general take. I've done it. I don't make it a priority, mostly because I just don't make the top 5 defensemen a priority in my drafts. But yeah, I don't hate the strategy whatsoever. I think that's very, very, I think that's very live in this format. So,
yeah. I mean, I think that all of the defensemen towards the top, maybe you could argue, other than Cale Makar, are going just a bit early for my liking, and I don't click on them often. So that's been prohibited. Like I've been taking defensemen later as a general strategy because I mean, just again, you draft more and you realize these defensemen continuously slip. I think again, goalies are going to rise, defensemen are going to fall. Some centers are going to find their way into a nice cushy spot. But same guy, same thing.
Same guy. It looks like he's just autoing again. Yeah. Actually, is he autoing? Because
I don't remember where Matt Tkachuk goes, but
I guess he and Reinhardt are tied in ADP, so maybe he's slightly ahead. All right.
We're about to be back on the clock. It is.
Yep. Yeah, Brian, that's a good point. Uncertainty about the last 10 goalies that'll get clear as we approach the season. And yes, those late round guys do open up. This year feels a little bit different in that respect. Like I'm not totally like I just don't think there's that many guys who are uncertain. Let's see. I am going to grab Tage with Matthews. I wonder if I've done that before. But anyway. I can't really think of like Columbus. I think is the team that has upside that we don't know who their starter is. Like, are there any other teams that you're like, yeah, if we knew which one of these guys were the starter, this team could make the playoffs. This team could be really good. Because like I don't think Pittsburgh is, we're not really afraid of Jari or Shelovs being the guy you had to have. The way that the way that Columbus, obviously they could make the playoffs given what they showed last year. Yeah, Carolina, but like you're exactly right. neither's gonna be a real starter. Like that's just that's just their institutional philosophy from the nerds up high. So yeah, that's not a huge one. Detroit's a good one. Detroit, as we get more information. However, the market's kind of just confirmed that Gibson is the starter. Like if they came out today and said John Gibson is our starter, does he really move up past Vejmelka, Skinner, Decord? Like I don't know. It kind of feels like because you're right. He definitely should go ahead of Knight and Askarov in that case. But I do wonder how much further up the board he would actually be if there weren't some amount of uncertainty being priced in, which is what makes me think that the market's just kind of pricing it as Gibson's the starter, Talbot's the backup, 50 starts for Gibson, 30 starts for Talbot is what they want, and that's that. Whereas I don't think that way. I think it's more of truly, 41 for Gibson, 41 for Talbot is what they want. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, goalie is, while we say we hate goalies and this, like it is the most frustrating position in this format as well, because if you're right, it gives you such a huge edge. And if you're wrong, you are just drawing completely dead. And every year, I mean, again, like think about, a few of the guys that have gone in the top 50 that have ended up completely nuking teams, Georgiev. And I mean, we could probably rattle off a bunch of names of guys that are just lost in the shuffle now. And it's like, I don't think anybody would have told you, oh, there's no doubt in my mind that, this goalie could be is at least going to be, see this many starts, and like they died. I think this is my first Rasmus Dahlin share. Get him at 43, like 9 picks after ADP. I will take it. So my draft just, sorry, what?
Did Ovi die? Like, did we miss like Ovi like retired? Like Ovi, drove a drunk school bus like off a bridge, or like what happened? Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, are we just out on Ovi? Is that really what
Ovi.
The watchers of the Morningscape podcast and watchers of the Moods are just like, yeah, actually, this guy can't do it again. When people said that last year, and I was like, this guy's gonna do it again, and then he did it again despite breaking his fucking leg. Like, are we okay? All right, I'll take him. I'll load up another 30%, and hopefully he doesn't have a fluke injury for the first time in his career, or second time.
I just want to commend your bravery. So to start the draft, I started with David Pastrnak, then Sam Reinhart, then Igor Shesterkin, and Rasmus Dahlin. Matt, you are almost back on the clock again, but you went Matthews, Robertson, Tage, and Alex Ovechkin. No goalie yet for you. Any thoughts on jumping, or are you thinking you might stay the course this time? Take the advice of the chat. Maybe wait a little bit. Get crazy.
I mean, we'll see. I'm just looking for recent Ovechkin stuff, and no, there's nothing. I don't know. Whatever. Cool.
Insane stuff.
All good. I mean, you're tempting me here with Smichkov, but ultimately, I do want to get a goaltender, so I will take Darcy Kemper again. Grab me my starter. I will not take him with Aiden Hill again. So that is the one thing I have in mind. But otherwise, I feel pretty open about my options at the next pick.
JT Miller or Michkov for me. I already have Shesterkin in net. It feels like a decent buy. Again, way after ADP on JT Miller. I don't want to click the button, but I'm going to click the button on JT Miller for the first time. Haven't taken him yet. I'm going to grab the ADP value and avoid. I still don't think I have a single Michkov team, and it's mainly just because every time I'm like, all right, well, this draft I'm getting Michkov. Someone takes him right above me. So, but Kurds, have at it. I'm already feeling really good.
Frothy.
Wait, what?
The people are frothy for Mr. Michkov.
I mean, I am, but I'm sitting here with no centers, Pastrnak and Reinhart. It's like maybe it might be time to throw JT Miller in the mix here and see if he can't get back to, if he puts up enough points, he's going to put up enough hits. He's going to shoot from stupid angles and hopefully get shots on net, because he's that kind of guy that just is like, I don't care. I'll just, shoot from behind the net. Cool. I like this team.
Ryan here recapping the JS conundrum. Clearly, he's autoing, so what are you gonna do? But yes, that is the exact Matthew Chuck situation we were talking about. So yeah, don't draft him in the second round. If if you can update your ranks, whatever, just make sure you don't auto him or something. Like that's a really good thing to do, because most everyone else I think is fine, but Matthew Tkachuk seems very unlikely to play 30 plus games this season, as we discussed earlier.
100%. So yeah, as this draft continues onward, it's feeling like I'm putting together a nice core of a team right now. How are you feeling this early in the draft here? Are you feeling like your team is where you want it to be?
I mean, yeah, anytime I can get Ovi in the 4th round, I'm doing front flips.
All right, this is my big chance. All right, I'm doing it. Boom, Barkov Reinhardt. There he is. Bingo.
Wow. You heard it here, folks.
Nobody's gonna complain. No one should feel sad about it at all.
Not at all. I will grab the brinket. 7 spots after ADP. The room just going here. I like it. Take your ADP value.
At 69th overall, very nice. And then there goes Moritz Seider. It ruins your correlation. Were you thinking going Seider there?
I was not. I have another very clear option in mind.
I have a bad feeling I'm not going to get who I want.
Actually, I have 3 options if I really wanted to. So
I mean, if Konechny was never getting there, I certainly would have gone with Konechny if he was on the board, but not who I really would say is my 1A. I have 3 guys as well that I really do like with this next pick, and I am fine with 2 of them. One of them, I guess I'm fine with all 3, but I would really prefer one of the 2 I want.
I definitely wanted Matthew Knies. I don't have a single share yet, and obviously with Matthews, that makes a ton of sense. If Matthews is going to perform without Marner, Knies has to add something to Arsenal. But I actually was going to not take Wyatt to go with Robo. I was going to take Tuck again. Just make it a double Tuck night.
Well, I was going to take Tuck if he got there to go with Dahlin, but that didn't happen. So yeah, I wanted Olmark the most. I would have really liked to get my second goalie to go along with Igor. Did not happen. I was hoping to get a correlation. That didn't happen. I think I continue to push goalie and decide between Timo and Fiala. God. I will take Fiala. I think it's very close between the 2. I could very easily be convinced either way, but I think the fact of Fiala's just horrendous assist number that makes absolutely no sense has gotten me just leaning towards him, especially with the power, like the Fiala never leaving the power play and Timo never being on the power play just has me convinced. But I do like the rates and the hits that Timo puts up, obviously a good bit, so I could be swayed.
Mm-hmm. I'm certainly not going to try and sway you in either direction. This range, the wings feel all very, very. Honestly, all the picks here I think feel very, very good. And then about right after this is when I think defense starts to get a little bit interesting, and then it gets super gross again. So mostly in this range, I take anyone but D-men, and then in 20 picks from now, I have just D-men like all at the top of my wish list. So that's generally how I feel about this range. It's just like like that guy. Oh, I like that guy. Oh, I love that guy. Oh, this guy's cool. Which I don't really feel that way earlier in the draft ever, where it's just like everyone feels really solid. So it's probably just the ADP capital monster in me, just going, these guys don't matter. Just click names and land plane. If your big 4 guys aren't the guys you needed, you're probably having a shit year anyway with this team. So just take some names and hope you hit the right little combinations there.
Could not have said.
But yes, also massive homer. Go Buffalo Sabres. Tage, Tuck. I'm going to trade for Dahlin mid-year. Hit up DJ at the deadline. And this team will take it all the way when the Sabres make the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, no,
not the final,
definitely
just the playoffs.
Just the playoffs.
That's all we need.
Oh boy.
The run on goalies.
The run on goalies.
Yep. We're
I have a specific goalie in mind that I really want.
boy.
Trocheck was not the player I wanted here. God, this is tough. I'm gonna grab Ehlers. I'm gonna throw in a winger for now.
I am on the clock. I kind of just, I think I just need to eat the goalies. Yeah, I'm gonna, let's see. Can I get this up quick? Nope, I can't. Let's see. Swayman, sure. Come on down.
I do think Boston's fine there. LA, I don't think
I'm
it's
not
on
super worried.
the list, but I don't think that's bad.
Yeah.
So,
I don't really care. I think in a vacuum, I prefer Vejmelka the most out of this range.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be super overweight on any one guy. I just don't trust Thatcher Demko.
no.
I don't think the team's good enough to warrant this ADP where it's like, yeah, if they're good and if he starts a bunch and if he's not getting hurt, like it just seems like a lot when they gave Lincoln and $4 million or whatever they did for multiple seasons. Trading Sheilov is a good indicator that Demko is going to be able to manage at least the start of the season, but I just don't trust it enough personally to go there. And I don't feel like the downside for being wrong is massive because I feel like one of the guys in this range will be also good as well.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted Decord. He was the perfect Igor pairing. I think they have like the biggest disparity of games. Alas, get fucked.
All right. I am going to grab Adam Fox.
Yeah.
Just
I was debating, but yep, Fox made sense for me with my JT Miller as well. But
he gets married at the places only the coolest people in the world get married at.
Me and Adam Fox will be being married at the same spot almost a year apart to the day. It's actually I think it's actually 13 months almost to the day. I can't remember now, but yes. I like to think we're kindred spirits that way.
God damn, man. You did 2 drafts this time and it's still not enough. Rabona, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Who do I take? Do I take Stolarz? Do I take Vejmelka? I think I like Vejmelka more. Utah. Yeah, Utah Rangers actually pretty strong. 22 games. I'm in. I will grab Veggie. I don't think there's again, I'm mad I didn't get the cord because I got Vejmelka kind of feels actually backwards. I genuinely think that I like Vejmelka more than the cord. So
there is slightly more competition, not just Ingram, but they added Vanacek as well. So in theory, there's a slightly more competition, and in Seattle it's the corpse of Philip Grubauer pushing for starts. Right. And I think this is the fake Matt Murray. I could be wrong. This could be the Penguins Matt Murray, but remember there's 2 Matthew Murrays, which is just hilarious. So if that guy becomes relevant, then I'll just be sad because all my shit will break just like it did for Elias Pettersson ×2 and the Sebastian Ahos and just make me sad. So hopefully for our sake, it's the cord through and through and that Grubauer's not needed here. That's the one reason I think you could possibly like Decord a bit more is that his workload is slightly safer, I think.
Yeah, no, I think it's close. I just think that Utah could be a legitimately good team, and if that's the case, I think I know why and yada yada. But
the right side of the board is just all going mid goalies, so that's fun. Just in the last 3 rounds, the right 4 people have taken 7 goalies. It's got to be a record. 8 goalies in 3 rounds. I mean, just impressive work there. Just all getting in line with one another.
Yep, I am up next.
He did, and who was the guy who showed up and played the outdoor game for them? Or No, the Cord I think started the. Was it? No, they
I
called
think
up
the
some
Cord.
no name. I think. To
No,
be
I
the
think the
back.
Cord did start, but yeah, the backup was like, what the heck is his name? I'm gonna think of it eventually. It was
Yeah.
something like, why am I blanking?
Also, wait, did the Seattle Kraken play an outdoor game and I just make that up?
They did. They played. Honestly, is that right?
Oh no, it
I
was
think
okay. I think it was 2 years
started-
ago that the Cord
was-
broke out. Okay, I think that's the case.
You know what? Well, I'm gonna set this down and look.
God, that's crazy. Now I'm reading about the 2024 Winter Classic. Legitimately do not remember this game whatsoever, except for possibly the
I remember watching it.
goalie situation.
I
Okay,
definitely
yeah,
remember
Joey
watching
Daccord
it.
had a 35 save shutout, so that's definitely why I remember that. That was like
but
his introduction.
Who was the backup?
I don't know.
It's got to be somewhere. No, I don't want to click on a freaking ad. I'm clicking on the Kraken box score. It was Drieger. It was definitely
really?
Drieger. Yeah.
How many starts did he have?
I mean, he was the backup for that game. I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh,
remember
in that
he was
game,
like,
yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Oh,
remember he was
they
like
called up.
After.
They called up someone named Alesh Stezka that I remember.
Yeah, that's what someone said in the chat.
Yeah.
You're on the clock.
Oh,
you have like 10 seconds. You should make
cool.
a pick.
I probably should. Wow. Wait, did I auto someone? Oh God.
You didn't take. I said, did you take Logan Cooley? So if you auto Logan Cooley, then you auto Logan Cooley.
I did auto Logan Cooley. That's cool. Very cool.
You have
actually
really not paid attention. All right. Well, I will not be getting John Gibson today. That's fine. I don't even care. I'm not going to cry.
I was reading about the 2024 Winter Classic. Sometimes this happens. I can't control it. Sometimes you just got to get the goods.
All right. Well, when life hands you lemons, you draft Thomas Hertl above ADP to go with Shea Theodore. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's a real tough run for me. Grabbing Cooley.
I literally said, wow,
Tippett,
taking Logan Cooley.
Chychrun. Yeah.
And that's what you did. You took Logan Cooley.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Shams was. I could have just waited for other people to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
brother,
they're.
I don't know what to tell you.
I will draft from bed, but I just don't want to sit in this very uncomfortable position any longer. I need to set myself up in this living room.
Yeah,
I don't like this couch.
If you want to get like Underdog to pay us to stream these drafts, then sure we can do 2-hour, 3-hour streams. But that's a tough thing to bring into our personal lives, to just sit here for hours on end when we work 40 plus hours a week. What are you doing?
I'm your host. Crap, I should have taken someone else, but whatever. I'm not. Yeah. I know. I like my pick.
We're doing the Lord's work filling movies, so yeah, we better be appreciated. That's the takeaway.
Wow, Zibanejad continues to be drafted by people. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, smart people.
I know. I honestly, I mean, what JT Miller, is he not going to be with Zibanejad? I was actually thinking about that pick when I took
yeah, that's the case I laid out for Zibanejad, where the top line remains the same: Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere, and then it's Miller, Cooley, and Zibanejad.
I think the choice is going to be made for me here, too. But if it's not, I'm going to have a real tough decision to make.
Oh boy,
there's two guys in my queue I really like, and it's made for me. I was going to take a Scar off the closeout goal, but instead I'm going to close out center with Quinton Byfield. Miller, Barkov, Hertl, Byfield, and Fiala. I mean, I have the Pasternak, Reinhart, Fiala, Ehlers winger core that I just absolutely love. So I'm going to close out center right now. I feel like I have a very good mirage of centers with Miller, Barkov, Hurdle, and Byfield.
The Miro slapping, just me flapping my flippers together as the bona fide Harley bro. That's like 20% Miro right now because the field has lost their marbles and is like, actually, this guy is, significantly better than Miro Heiskanen, who's going to play 30 minutes a night. And I can see it. It definitely makes sense. Harley's awesome, but man, feels a little underappreciative of what Miro has done for the old Stars there.
Yeah, I don't mind that take at all. I do hate that I don't have a third goalie yet. Askarov was certainly the guy I would have liked there, but I think I'm going to push it a little bit further out at this point because I think I've lost, which is fine. I know what I plan on taking next. We'll see if they get back to me or not. But I don't know. I think the Pastrnak Reinhart start has helped me to push wing a bit here, and I'm really not that worried yet. There's a few guys I have in mind, but
okay,
should I be worried at wing?
I don't know if Tom caught the beginning of last show, but like this is exactly what I am talking about. Like there are just things DJ says where it's like you think you know what he's talking about, but like it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's not the right word. That wasn't the right word. Mirage makes them sound like they're fake. They're real people. I mean, what's the word I'm thinking of that I don't use correctly?
Oh God!
Bounty,
you want a
bounty of centers? I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna grab Morgan Rielly again because I grab a leaf and I go up. Morgan Rielly, good defenseman, works for me.
Come on down. You're the next contestant on players that disappointed us last year that we're gonna buy back in on.
That's right. I mean, JJ going way past ADP, Dylan Cousins going way past ADP. Some people did not read the pamphlet we passed out that every player who gets traded from the Buffalo Sabres immediately makes DJ sad.
That's correct. I mean, I'm going to grab Geeky to go with Pastrnak. I continuously get angry at myself for not getting that correlation. So I'm going to make it was a one fisting of centers that I have. I mean, yeah, I really don't know what word I was thinking of when I said Mirage. And I honestly, the problem with me is that I'll say something stupid like that and I won't even notice it happened. I will just move on thinking I said the right word. But honestly, I don't even know what I was thinking of. I honestly think I meant bounty of centers and I said Mirage. Like my brain just didn't. Myriad? Maybe Myriad was the word. I don't know. I don't care anymore.
Wingers are
Jesus
very
Christ. I mean, this is what happens at 10:20 on a Monday.
Keller, Gunther, Peterka, Sergachev. My man's going all in.
Yes. A mammoth of wingers.
We're not talking about their name. Makes me too angry.
We're not talking about Happy Gilmore too. I'll get too angry. Next show will be a full recap.
Right. It looks like we're fighting JS for some goalies here, DJ. He's loaded up on defensemen.
Damn it.
He's at 5.
There goes Brant Clark. There goes the last defenseman on the board.
Darcy blows.
So
or Jackson Lacombe. God,
I will be
you gotta love it. You gotta
that
love
that. Later. All right. I'm gonna do the stupid thing because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take Tristan Jarry, the future leader of the Edmonton Oilers goaltenders.
Let's see. Shoestring needs a goalie still. This JS moron needs a goalie, but Shoestring, I don't know like who the goalie in Vogue is going to be, but I strongly prefer Sam Ersson.
Wow.
I don't know if it's
jump on board.
Honestly, if Carter Hart is confirmed like not returning to Philly, like which I think is totally possible given their current situation, then I would be very much more in on Sam Ersson. But that news like a little bit made me think, maybe Ersson's not like I don't know, 65% to be like a 40-45 start guy at least, if not 50.
Yeah.
given Vladar and Fedotov and Kolosov are going to be AHL goalies. Like one of those guys, in theory, could take the net, with Vladar, of course, being the most obvious guy. But that's the only reason. Like the possibility that Carter Hart could just return to the team as like, hey, see, I guess you're not guilty of that thing, and therefore, do you want to play hockey for us again? And I can't imagine he's like, yeah, actually, I have 10 other offers I'd rather take. Like, screw you for dumping me or whatever. Because I think the league kind of forced that decision. But anyway, that's like the one thing I think could happen that makes this a terrible pick. But otherwise, I'm fine jumping in front of Shoestring because I like Ersson over these other guys on the board still.
Wow, very brave of you all around.
Thank you.
Am I blind? I don't want to. You ever just you don't want to say the player's name because then they're just going to get drafted. But then you think, how could they? I'm still scrolling and I still don't see them. So how is that possible?
Well, usually you can just spell the player's name, but I understand for you that's
no, I can. I just was like, what is their ADP now? And
all right, I get Cat. I'm gonna grab Kane here in the 15th round. Yeah, it's fine. I don't think he's like a mega upside pick or anything. But if Cat has a good week, I think it's very likely Patrick Kane does as well. And I'll use the score sometimes in the flex. So there's that.
Okay. I don't know if this is a smart pick or a dumb pick because it feels like it could be dumb, but I'm going to do it anyways and go with Will Cooley to go along with JT Miller. I have no idea if that could bear any fruit, but it feels like that's the potential third guy on that line. We don't really expect him to get there on the power play, so why not?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last week. Cooley could be the Chris Kreider replacement net front power play. Like it's in his range of outcomes.
But then who comes out?
Not. Yeah, I mean it's probably Trocheck at this point, but yeah, we don't know. That is the conundrum. Anyway, Mark. Yeah, I'm not saying he's under contract for the team, but just like, hey, you were a member of our team. Yeah. Would you like to come back? Like, I can't imagine that that's not on the table. I mean, maybe it's just not. And maybe Carter Hart's like, fuck you guys, you abandoned me, whatever. I don't think that's the way that situation is going to be viewed. So I was just saying that's like a possibility that he re-signs with Philly because he was on the Flyers before the whole, suspension and termination occurred. But yes, we talked about, DJ even tweeted out the damn video. Like, yes, we took our Dustin Wolfell. We're moving on to taking a Dustin Wolfell again this year.
I do struggle to click the button on Dustin Wolf, and it's not even because I don't think he's good. Like, obviously, he's a good goalie. It's just like that team is not very good, and I really worry about where he's going comparatively to how bad I think that team could be, especially with the Nazem Kadri of it all. It feels like that is the piece of the glue that holds that team above water. That keeps the boat from sinking, and it's like, man, if he actually gets moved, I don't know what that team's going to look like.
Yeah,
I do.
No,
I'm sorry, no.
Carter Hart was not playing overseas or anything. I don't think any of those guys were. Even Formenton, I think, got like suspended from the season. So
being out of hockey that long, just not playing competitive hockey, it just makes me uneasy, especially for a goalie of all the positions. I mean, not that any of the other guys matter in this format. Just
Thatcher Demko, pick 100. Come on down. Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say is, JS. I mean, does save his net with Joseph Woll as his only goalie. That was getting worried. So yeah, I'm at my last pick here. This is the guy that I was just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and we're done with Nikishin. We're just done.
No, I mean, yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it in the Carolina preview.
He doesn't have an ADP anymore. That's why I kept scrolling. I was like, wait, what the hell? And okay, I guess I'll be brave. I'll be the brave guy. That I have Dahlin and Shea Theodore. I feel like I might as well swing for the fences at this point and say, the one of the most elite producing prospects ever in the KHL could still produce in the NHL with a full season with no Brent Burns in his way. And hopefully capture the top power play role along Nikolai Ehlers. So I feel like this roster came out pretty good for myself. We'll obviously do a review before we we take off here at the hour 30 mark. Yeah, Zellweger, I did look
Not
up
even-
him too, but
I mean, I've taken him like several times in the last week, so whatever. Maybe it's like the 3 drafts that were done yesterday. No one took him, and that's how it updates. I don't know. But yeah, good stuff. Looks like draft is just about over. I'm guessing
it
when I
should be
do
over.
this, it'll update the team to see that last pick there. Yeah, I do love me some Evander Kane. I talked about him last show as well. Just very in on the Evander Kane experience for better or for worse. Tickle my DGen, Drew Doughty, last pick. DJ out here taking Alex Nikishin. And you go, well, you got to take Drew Doughty to make moods sad again. But yeah, I get that. I mean, just
so
anyway, do you want to talk about your team?
Oh, I'll go first this time, I guess. Sure. I'll go position by position and kind of correlate and whatnot. But I did grab JT Miller. What was it, 8 picks after ADP, and I ended up doing the Will Cooley, combo. Will Cooley, of course, is your bull case as he gets on the top power play, but you're even in a bad scenario where he's not playing good power play minutes. Should be the winger of JT Miller, and he has a ton of hits. And I just think there's more upside in Will Cooley than people might think. Barkov, Reinhardt, don't think I need to talk about that pairing. Obviously, incredibly strong. Hurdle with Theodore. I mean, Hurdle did play a decent net front role, and I think will continue there and found some good opportunity alongside Dorofayev. And I just don't know if the 5-on-5 will be with Hurdle with Theodore, but Theodore should see a lot of run with everybody. Byfield and Fiala, I was really hoping to close that off with Brandt Clark. Alas, I was late to the punch on Brandt Clark after getting him last draft. The other players I have at wing, I have Pasternak and Geeky, a nice little 2 pairing there. I mentioned I have Ehlers and Nikishin, Alexander Nikishin, nice little 2 pairing there. So all pairs except Dahlin kind of on an island in Buffalo. No other Sabres to go along with him, but honestly, the Sabres suck. And if you don't have Tage Thompson, I feel like you're really not, or really, Tage or Tuck, anybody else could be a bit of a question mark besides Zach Benson. I'll get that out of the way before anyone asks. And then in nets, I have Igor with my kind of Rangers. The 3rd best team for Utah is the Rangers, and for Malcolm, we'll see a lot of starts, opposing the schedule of the Rangers. And finally, Tristan Jarry. I mean, I get they traded for Shelovs. They truly don't have much of a backup. I'm still of the mindset that Jarry could be moved. I know last year went incredibly poor, but ended on a note of maybe some level of optimism that he could still play in the league. So additionally, 24 games of the Pittsburgh, Utah, so kind of gets out of the way. But if he does get traded, it's probably for a better opportunity. So that's my team, and I'm sticking to it. Matt, do you want to go over your team or say anything on mine?
Sure. No, great job by you, DJ. If JT Miller and Will Cooley are the stack you need, that's what everyone saw and was like, yep, DJ wins. So I'm really glad that that's the first thing you talked about with respect to your team and gave us the elevator pitch for. Yeah, I have a Matthews, J-Rob start, Tage, the double center with the new second flex. That's just so much less attraction to your team because that second flex score, it's much easier now to have 2 centers, playing. Raising the ceiling for your team without sort of capping the flex-based upside, just because now there's 100% more flexes. We go from 1 to 2. I grab Ovi, who is dust. Everyone tells me, so I will just keep taking Ovi. Kemper, Cat, Tuck, Swayman, Adam Fox. This is the auto draft Logan Cooley days of the draft. In retrospect, actually not terrible. Cooley could have monster upside, and it also made me quite confident that the 3 centers, so it allowed me to go Val, Miro, and then Morgan Riley to finish off the defense to go with my top 2 picks and J-Rob and Austin Matthews. Finish off goalie with Sam Ersson, and then grab the mini correlations of Patrick Kane and Arturi Lehkonen. Lehkonen and Nichushkin is probably more of a player block than it is a true correlation. but odds are one of those guys is top power play any given week. So maybe they can steal some goals from the donkey shooter himself, McKinnon, and help Austin Matthews to victory.
I like your team. I actually think that's a pretty solid little team you got there.
It's fun. It's fun. Sometimes it's good to just take guys who fall past ADP that you never take, like Logan Cooley, and then don't worry about it again.
I think every draft where I pull the emergency Darcy Kemper feels bad, but I actually think that you got a lot of starts there and on teams that are not that bad. So, yeah, why not?
Hey, that's as good. That's a good a commendation as I'll ever get. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think.
Any other teams? Any other people want them? Anyone want DJ to give the bold take for your team?
JS.
All right, DJ. Tell me why JS built the shipper here.
Well, he built the shipper pretty easily by saying, you know what, it doesn't matter what you do at the beginning of the year. It matters what you do at the end of the year. And that's why he started with Leon. Fine. But Matt Tkachuk, I mean, you don't even need the guy to start the season. Who cares? It's all about the playoffs, baby. Then, as we talked about, taking defense early could be bad. He says, fuck you. I don't give a shit. Taking Werenski, taking Evan Bouchard. Cool. He correlates nothing so far and continues to not correlate with Tim Stützle and Mark Scheifele. It's as if he was auto-drafting potentially. Could you scroll down a little bit? I don't have it up on my screen.
Yeah.
He then grabs the Timo Meier value, grabs it, says, all right, fine. Correlation's good. I agree. Josh Morrissey it is. Noah Dobson. I need my fourth defenseman. I need it. I yearn for the fourth defenseman. Carter Verhaeghe, Sam Bennett. What a correlation. Continues to drive home value at every twist and turn. Brandon Montour, Dylan Cousins, Sean Monahan to go with Zach Werenski. Who would have thought? He did. Dylan Cousins to go with Tim Stützle. Who would have thought? He did. Alexei Protas. And now you're thinking, I haven't heard a goalie yet. Well, he's got a brick Joseph Woll back there. No doubter in my mind. Joseph Woll starts all 82 games, 82 straight shutouts, ships.
There you heard it. You heard it here first, folks.
Right into the $25,000.
Yeah, this was literally the I called this out that at the middle of the draft, the side of the board went 9 goalies in 3 rounds. Very, very cool. Very cool stuff there. I don't think anyone erred greatly in doing so, given it was to largely, yes. I mean, it's not like you spent a first round. Well, actually, did Layla draft 4? Oh, no. Okay. Layla drafted. That's right. The others all drafted 2 in this range, and Layla only drafted 1. So that's why it looked like there were several goalies. But in general, this run on goalies wasn't to say, draft 4 or whatever. So it's all good. You still managed to get Cutter with this goalie run in the next round. So always a little fun.
Yeah.
Time over there. All right. After that rendition, don't do mine. Thanks.
Perfect. I only do my best.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I was looking into on the side, Shams said a beat writer suggested that Marner replaces Theodore, not necessarily reporting, but thinking. And that's a reasonable thought. I mean, I was curious, so I looked into the numbers the last 5 years on Natural Stat Trick just to see like the point production of Shea Theodore. And like over the last 5 years, over 700 power play minutes, he is 10th in the NHL among defensemen and primary assists per 60. The names ahead of him: Dahlin, Tyson Barrie, Brady Shea, believe it or not, though only in 200 minutes versus all these other guys have at least 500. Adam Fox, Eric Gustafson, Muro, Hedman, Quinn Hughes, Makar. So like the production is certainly there. It was funny, though, to look at total points per 60 because Morgan Riley is actually slightly ahead of Shea Theodore in that ranking. So that's sort of like, this isn't Morgan Riley you're replacing, it's Shea Theodore. Might fall a little flat, but I just found that a little funny to look at. But ultimately, I'm not concerned about it. Shea Theodore is, I think, just it's such a cornerstone to that team. I mean, Eichel is glued to him in the power play. I'm not overly concerned about that being the case, especially because you have Hannafin too. So it's like, are you going to play both of them on the second power play and just have 5 forwards on the first? Like, possibly, but again, not a huge concern of mine.
No, me neither. I think they can both exist on that top power play for sure. Dude, listen, Zach Benson and me are best friends, and it's fine. We don't need to worry about it. I think I'm 12 drafts in right now. I'll probably make it 13 after we close out here. I will probably join the next lobby. But I just want to like lay in bed and draft and not talk anymore. I talk like all day too. Just talk on the phone about 401ks. It's fun. It's a fun world.
I am at 18 drafts right now.
There's 4 more for the next lobby. If you want to jump in, but I don't think we'll continue on stream. And unless if you're gonna do it, I mean, I'm gonna lay in bed. I just need to
update this. I unfortunately have not added any confidence to my last 4 drafts, so merely at 40% McDavid. Real tough scenes in the moods.
Absolute loser.
All right.
Oh,
no, I wasn't sharing. That's what I was pulling it up to look at, but these are my top exposures at the moment. If anyone cares, I'm through 18 drafts. So yeah, fun times all around.
Through 12. 6 teams are still showing. All right. And 12 teams. Quinton Byfield, number 1, Sorokin, Nico Hischier, Marchessault, Josh Norris. I'm buying on Quinton Byfield. I don't care what anyone says. I'm buying. Are you selling?
He feels a little bit like Cooley to me, and I think they go right around ADP, so like whatever. But I actually think Cooley has slightly more upside, so like I'm not jumping at the opportunity. Just because like if Byfield has a great season, I think Fiala is the one you're going to want anyway.
I'm trying to get them together as much as possible. Like I love that pairing. I think that like the upside case, like you're saying, of Fiala getting back to, well, I mean, really he was fine last year. Just getting that next level. I think it comes with Byfield. So
2 more for this next lobby.
Are you staying to draft it here? Because I'm gonna go.
I will make that decision momentarily. So if you want to go, that's cool. We've got enough people chatting that I think I can hold it down. Honestly, what do you mean?
Oh, I can leave.
Yeah.
I clicked the button. What? Okay. I only saw end stream up top. I didn't even look down below and leave studio. I don't think I've ever left.
I see.
Yeah, done that. It's not like me. You just seem like you weren't closing on the show, so I was confused. So I was like, "What are you doing?" All right, well, I'm gonna leave then, and Matt's gonna do whatever he wants to do, and he can tell you the next draft to start. Yeah, I'm gonna leave so I can go to bed and draft. Okay, bye.
Let's do that. Boy, that's DJ. All right, let's pull this up. I might shut it down in a few minutes here. But we'll see what things are looking like outside of Draftland. But it does look like we have a couple new names in the. I don't recognize C.E. Quinn. I don't recognize Bolt. So if you guys are in the chat, make sure you make yourself known. And we got good friend JS here at the 10 hole, so we know that those ADP fallers are not going to make it to me here at 12. So that's that. But yeah, what I was going to say to DJ, but then he left, was like, I have my own YouTube channel now. I'll just pull it up. I think is it at Moods? Or is it at Fake Moods? I don't know. It's one of these ats that I made a little bit ago. Yeah, it's this. And I don't have anything on it, obviously. So it is what it is. But I was sort of sitting there the other day thinking, like, can I actually carry a show for, however long a draft is, just talking about whatever, and be interesting? And the answer is, I don't know. I know I'm not the, I'm not a media content creator type personality wise. So I think I get by on an insatiable love of the game of hockey. But yeah, so this is sort of a test drive. But that's exactly the sort of thing that like I feel like my skill set is better suited toward, writing and doing the actual work behind the scenes than just sort of sitting here and shooting the shit with people. Sorry, not with people, but by myself. Like that's I think where the entertainment value comes in, where I can rag on DJ all day long. I can go on the Badge Bros and figure out what the vibe is and have a good time and quote unquote be the expert. But actually being the person who sits there for 3 hours like Pete or Davis Maddock does feels insane to me. So like I don't think I'll ever do that, obviously. But was an interesting thought that I had. Just like, is this actually something I could do? How do I want to use that YouTube channel if I do want to use it? So anyway, that's just sort of some subconscious thinking. Holy mother of God. Adam here, I am literally up to 53 drafts without a first overall. That is preposterous. Does this include slow drafts? Like I gotta know. Like that is something that I legitimately could not imagine. Yeah, where's the one where it goes on the right side of the screen? Nope, not that one. Have I lost my mind? I think I've lost my mind. I'm on the clock. Who am I autoing? Mikko Rantanen. Perfect. I love that for me. I actually don't think I have a Mikko Kyle Connor start yet, so that sounds like a lot of fun. Rest of the board looks pretty normal. No Kaprizov Slappy jumping into the top 5 this draft, so big downs to Shoestring and McCurds for not being brave. But DJ grabbing Draisaitl, McGill takes Makar, JS, our friend, takes Kachuk and Forsberg. So the idea, maybe, since I think What a Legend at least might be in the chat, I think that's definitely a name I recognize. I think what we should try and do is we should try and give JS an auto draft build that wins the league. All right, you hear me? So, if there's, say he has 3 goalies and there's a goalie at the top of the queue, sorry, boys, you got to take the goalie. We got to get JS one team advancing so he comes back next year and donates again. Just think of it as an investment in your future. In your long, you got to play the long game when you're investing. And, we all know that skill games like Underdog Best Ball is just a long-term investment. So that's our goal for this draft. Well, geez, no wonder I recognize your name because I've probably seen you in every single draft I've done. There you go. And only 2 slow drafts is absolutely, that's insane. There's no way that's way like 1 in 100. I do not think that's even close to the right number. Because it's 92.7 to the 51st power, or 0.925 to the 51st power, which is I think some insanely large number. All right, let's see. Let me do this. My trusty old calculator. Nope, not you. I need to do. Damn, I hit the wrong button. 0.925 to the 51st. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is 1 point something. I don't think so. The calculator turned to radians. I don't know what the hell radians mean on a scientific calculator. Someone else will figure it out. All right. And yes, you're right, Tom. He will not have many goalies in his queue if this lobby is as sweaty as every other lobby that we've had so far. All right. Is there anything that we were going to talk about with DJ that he then talked about something else and I didn't say it? That is always the case. You can imagine that given my lived experience, having known DJ and probably talked to him 98% of days since I was 9 years old, that I've had a lot of thoughts that I never got to say because DJ was talking. Um, so yeah, I guess in general, one thought I have is it's a little surprising to me. Like, I guess it shouldn't be given last year, like Quinn Hughes was literally like I think a early second rounder, but defense feels a little tilted early to me still. Um, we just haven't really seen a D man, I don't think, put away the season in a way that many forwards have. So that's one thing. I still never found that top right of the screen share. That's insane. It's right here. I found it. Great, good job by me. So that's one thing. Like, yeah, Cale Makar at 8. Like, I don't know. I guess I would need to examine the data specifically with that in mind, but it just feels so much more likely to me that you can make up that deep production late in drafts. And every year, it just feels like there's guys that are going super late that you look at them and you're like, is this guy really that different from everyone else in this range? So, all right, it does look like OV at ADP is there for me. I don't see it. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit down the board. I'm gonna grab Connor Bedard, and I'm gonna grab Gustafson. I mean, if I can draft a Central Division only team, I think that's a good secondary side quest to getting JS a killer team. Brady, Forsberg, and Cole Caulfield is a very good start, I gotta say. So JS, we're counting on you. This OV is gonna look so hot on your team when What a Legend doesn't take him. Yeah, no, that does. I guess I guess it is just the math. I don't know. In my head, it feels like it should be much much more improbable than that. Because I feel like we did this with, oddly enough, with Roto Rink Rat last year, where he did the math and he had like I think 2 first overall picks in his 150 or however many he did. Um, Ultimately, it didn't matter because he just donkey slammed in second round Vasi Hellebuck in every single draft and just won, like advanced, all the teams made it to the finals, yada yada. But I felt like I remember doing that math challenge, and it was, very improbable to the magnitude that 1% is improbable, but it's not like awe-inspiring improbable. All right. So setup wise, we can look at the board. The reason, I guess I will take your input, these 11 hardy veterans of the show. When I do this setup with the board on the right side, and then I scroll to sort of follow the draft, do you like that better than seeing the board kind of hodgepodge the way that I click back and forth? Because that's something I just can't tell, like with what people are watching on. Like, obviously, I have a big monitor here that it's very easy to see exactly what's going on the screen. But like, is this just too much information? Is this actually a better outlook? Because then you can see my queue, you can see sort of who the top ADP players are all in one place. So do give me that. Yeah. So do you have 2 screens? I think just displaying the board might be best. Yes, I have, my laptop screen here has like the StreamYard on it. And then obviously I can draft from the screen as well. But yeah, okay. We have 2 votes for just the board. I think that's what people are used to. Obviously, a lot of the streamers just have their setup where it's just the board and they're drafting off screen. I'm always curious, like who they're queuing up, who the other options are when they're drafting, but that's mostly from a football perspective because frankly, I don't know a ton about current underdog best ball drafting for the NFL. So like, they take a guy and it's like, well, okay, who are the other guys you would have taken? Like, what are we looking at? That's the sort of thing where I'm just, I'm not totally positive. I like this view for now because this view, obviously you can see everyone. As we get later in the draft, though, what's annoying about this view is that I can't. God, I can't scroll properly. Like you can't see what the team name is at the top. So like when you minimize it, you can get some of the rounds, but it's a little annoying. Let's see. Yeah, we need Roto Rinkrat's goalie take of the year. I have no idea if he's going to be on the same guys. Like, I don't even know how he got to Vasi and Hellebuck last year, but I mean, good God, the dude windmilled it and was very much paid off. Another vote for Just the Board. Shams, I like the Q, but I'm indifferent mostly. Yeah, that's, I think, obviously, I think we're going to get some one way and some the other. Yep, that's exactly the case. And then probably, I feel like there was some reason there that I was like, and then wound up being completely wrong anyway. All right, I have Kyle Connor. Mark Scheifele is top of ADP board right here. So I feel like I have the luxury to take Scheifele. Otherwise, we're looking at a few good wings. Kyrou, DeBrincat. I mean, Konechny's there. He's not a guy I'm totally in on. I also could take Bob, but I am going to go Jordan Kyrou. I feel like I don't have a ton of him just because in my head it's like, well, why take Jordan Kyrou when we have Dylan Holloway at home? Because you can usually get Dylan Holloway. Let's see, pick 86. So literally at the next turn, Dylan Holloway is going to be there. But I have no problem with Jordan Kyrou. I just prefer some of the other names more, like DeBrincat. But I already have a DeBrincat, so all right, let's see. Helly and Vasi had far and away the most games in the playoffs of the early goalies. Yeah. That all makes sense. Yep, I think we're doing a good job handing JS the keys to the car. So it's going to be a struggle, I think, to get him a good second goalie. Obviously, now the run on goalies has started. But hey, we'll see what we can do out here. Bolt TJM starting off with Kaprizov, Marner, Braden Point, Yossi, Barkov, Sider. That's the only player who doesn't have a goalie right now. Yeah. So interested to see what the mid rounds look like, given obviously Kaprizov and Marner are a pretty good start at wing, but going, 2-2-2 as far as your positions and needing to fill goalie fast. I feel like you could start to see the wing position slip away from you quickly in this type of start. So we'll see what the end product looks like. I know you've got Connor in this one. I don't see how Scheif pays off his ADP this year. Winnipeg seems a bit thin, no. I guess to me, when you're thinking about so the way I think about Mark Scheifele is that he's legitimately one of the best scorers in NHL history. Like his shooting percentage is, I believe, top 5 all time. To me, he's basically Braden Point. Like maybe Braden Point's a slightly better player, but like from a fantasy standpoint, I don't think Mark Scheifele's doing it on his own. I don't think Braden Point's doing it on his own. I think they are fixtures on their team's top power play, and you're getting Mark Scheifele 2.5, 3 rounds later in almost every case, and especially in a room like this where centers are tending to go later than as goalie gets pushed up and whatnot. So I don't know if that's a pro Mark Scheifele stance, but it's certainly to me like a good stacking option. And I think when you have that one tool in your bag, which is scoring goals, that can make up for a lot of peripheral stats when it comes to spike week scoring. And guess what? When you're taking a guy in the 5th round, you don't need him to score for you every week, like I probably do from Mikko Rantanen. Like that's just the way that the game goes. I'm never getting Connor McDavid in the 12 hole. So like, how is my team going to be good at center? Well, I guess in this specific instance, it was I wasn't getting a guy in the first 2 rounds because Eichel was off the board. So I think taking upside swings is perfectly defensible. And again, that's not necessarily a Mark Scheifele take, but I've softened a bit in terms of the season long aspects on these guys who legit have point per game upside. Like, I think that's especially when that point per game upside is not 20 goals and 62 assists. When it's truly, 35 type goal possibility, I'm totally fine taking shots like that. So, whatever. Winnipeg is thin. That's also the reason I kind of like them, because they were a really good team last year with an awesome power play. They didn't really add much depth. So, like, if they're going to score and be a good team again, Scheifele's going to get a bunch of the minutes. He's going to get all the power play time. He's going to get empty net time. So I think there's a lot of paths to him truly paying off that tag. And I think there's paths to upside, in certain weeks. Like, is he going to be, does he have as much upside in the full season as a Wyatt Johnston? I don't think so, because obviously Wyatt Johnston could be a truly, take the lid off type fantasy performer, given the way his rates are, his age, his future progression. All right, I'm on the clock. Holloway gets sniped one before me. I already took the Winnipeg stack. I'll take Josh Morrissey. And then this suits up for a nice goalie pick. Looking at Minnesota, just taking a quick peek. Minnesota needs all the playoff finals. And Rangers, Columbus, Islanders. So that doesn't help me much. I am just going to take a guy. Jordan Binnington, come on down. It's him or Logan Thompson or Lucas Dostal at this point. Montembeault is also there. Maybe I should have clicked Montembeault, but I feel fine taking Jordan Binnington. No real problem with the pick, and I don't think I have much of him. So that's fine. And that leaves me with needing 4 starts in the final week of the playoffs, just what I'm looking at. With Minnesota, I get 3 starts. Obviously, this doesn't account for back-to-back, so don't come after me. But just like seeking true upside, like if it's tied elsewhere at the goalie position, I have 3 goalie games from Gustafsson in weeks 1 and weeks 2 of the finals. I have a 4-game week from whoever I just took, St. Louis, in week 1 of the finals. In week 2 of the finals, then I'm going to want to aim for, possibly having a 3-start week or a 4, not a 4-start week, because a 4 back-to-back is very unlikely, but I'll break ties by taking a goalie from one of these 4 game teams. So that's how I'm using that. Let's see what the board looks like. Demidov. Okay, so JS here getting Kadri. All right, we're getting very close on centers being a problem, in that he's going to be force-fed some centers here as an auto drafter. Otherwise, the board looks pretty standard. It's also reaching the point where it's very annoying to scroll up and down, so I might defer to the base layout. Yeah, anything interesting going on here? C.E. Quinn, also a name I don't recognize. Not surprisingly, is left holding the Matthew Tkachuk bag. Doesn't have anything by way of stacking. Also grabs Uyghur and Noah Dobson, which, I wouldn't do that if you're in the chat. Like, I don't think those guys have clear and solidified power play 1 jobs, and having 2 of those guys, pretty risky. But maybe he's just auto drafting. I'm not positive. All right. All right. Well, it looks like I'm speaking Mark's language here, because in my talk about Scheifele, I mentioned Wyatt Johnston's upside, and he has 64% Wyatt Johnston. So there you go. That, yeah, I hope he hears you talking about his potential transcendence. Yeah, I think the clear path there is that Roope Hintz settles into more of a defensive role, and Wyatt Johnston centers J-Rob and Rantanen, for example, as their like top line. And obviously the power play job will be there. But also he would just have to go. He would have to raise up past Rupe Hintz on the depth chart, I think, to really reach that level of had to have himness. All right, reliable goalies end at Swayman. Let's see. So you're saying Swayman is the marker for reliable goalies. See, I mean, sue me, but I kind of think Stu Skinner is a reliable goalie. Like, I get it. Like, he's a goalie. But at the end of the day, Edmonton's giving him 45 to 50 starts if he's healthy. Seriously, I mean, sure, I guess they could trade for Jari or something, but like, I don't know. Would they do that mid-season? Seems kind of unlikely. All right, what are my options? Vejmelka's here. I think I need some wing help though. I'm gonna make up for my sins. I'm gonna take Brian Rust when I missed out on him the last time. And since I'm on the clock again, I forgot about that. Is there anything else I should be doing? I could take Hintz to go with Rantanen, but I don't think that's necessary. I'm just going to take Steven Stamkos. Last year, him going at pick 30 was egregious, but we know that this guy has elite fantasy upside in a given week, and I can't imagine it gets worse for him this year. Like, yeah, the age curve isn't going to help, but there was a lot of negative indicators for him too that should regress a bit. So, somewhere for him, like I think 109 is perfectly fair. But when you're saying the difference between a mid 3rd round pick and a early 10th rounder, like I think that's a large enough difference to make it defendable that I am pro Stamkos right here, and I was not last year whatsoever. All right, so let's see. Some questions. Is Seguin playing this year? No update yet. Basically, if you listen to Sean Shapiro talk, who's very plugged into the Dallas Stars organization, I think he's based out of Detroit, but he's still plugged in there. And basically, he's hinted at the fact that, like, if you had to hear what he had to do on off days just to get ready to play in the playoffs, like, you would be awed, more intense words than that, like just, dumbfounded. Which one, it sucks to hear, but two, I think that's a pretty good indicator that he's not playing 82 games or anything close to that. Especially if the team's, this good, which of course they should be, and they can afford to, sit their best players and still make the playoffs comfortably, as the Florida Panthers have proven that you can do and still win a cup. So I'm ultimately not that interested in Seguin, but I don't think it's like a huge downgrade to Duchesne or anything, because that's the case. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, Skinner is not good, but he's also not terrible, and Cal Pickard is pretty terrible. So unless they're getting outside help, which now Gibson's off the table, like it just seems pretty clear that Stu Skinner is their guy for the foreseeable future. Yep, Seguin being in pain. Spencer Knight can be argued for me the last reliable goalie. Yep, I think he's also totally defensible as well. Veggie, also stands out to me. Holy shit, did JS actually manage to get some defensemen? Okay. People, we've kept JS on the rails. Can he manage to pick up a goalie here at pick 130? I'm going to guess the answer is no, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do for our guy here to get him the true shipper that he deserves for auto drafting with us here tonight. Yep. Okay. People are expecting Seguin is playing, and JS 2 good PP1 D-men too. Yes, exactly. Adam Fox and Dougie. Certainly no slouches there on defense. Get him Gibson. Oh man. Can we do it? What's the board looking like? Okay, yeah, who did that? Who's getting banned? Bolt TJM grabbed John Gibson. Unfortunately, that means, oh no, is he going to take Zibanejad from me? That'd be a damn shame if he did. And stacked with Adam Fox. Oh man, we built this kid a shipper. An absolute shipper. So yeah, if we can go Mika and Strom off the board right here, we could get JS, Spencer Knight. That would work. Okay, there goes Knight. Yeah, so my goaltending goose is pretty much cooked. We'll see if What a Legend or Flop Winner want Askarov. I'm guessing What a Legend will take him because he only has Hellebuck right now. And Flop Winner grabs him anyway. So yeah, we're truly dealing with the bottom of the barrel in goal. Unfortunately, it does not seem like JS will be getting a goalie here. So pour one out. He made a good run of it, but didn't happen on this show. But maybe next time. Our friend JS will build the shipper that he deserves. And of course, What a Legend gets sniped on Askarov, and he goes and takes Cutter out from under my jaws. All right, let's just slap it up again with some Miro Heiskanen. That's my second defenseman. I have Connor Morrissey, Miro Rantanen, and I could take Velarde. That kind of just feels like overkill, not going to lie. I want to spread out my bets a little bit more than that, than just saying, well, if this team doesn't do well in a week, I'm screwed. So let's just finish off center and go Mika. I'm just Mika pilled at this point. I think he's going to be set up to succeed in a way that will cover up his regression talent-wise, given age and whatnot. And if he just regains his form, I mean, he's clearly worth the selection. So I think there's several paths to Mika actually paying off for us. And yeah, I will keep drafting him. Yeah, as discussed, I don't think JS is getting there. Hoots, what do we have to do to get Saul in here with DJ? I don't know. I feel like now he's under contract with his boy Wiley over at Run Pure, so it's going to be hard to get him on to talk DFS. I think Saul actually touches grass during the off season. I don't believe I've seen him get sweaty in the streets of Underdog, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, but I think that'll be something that he has to. He'll have to solicit it versus it's something that I'll be able to talk him into. Yes, I'm glad I'm very convincing. I just hope this means that Zibanejad doesn't fly up to like pick 90 or wherever the hell all my guys went last year toward the end of the drafting season. Like we were getting Cutter and Michkov at like, the 12th, 13th round at the start, and then you move to like 10, 11. And all of a sudden we're getting in drafts and they're going in round 7. It's like, what the hell? Like, come on, guys. Like, we got to stop that. So it sucks being the only person streaming because, who else is telling you who good and bad picks are versus in football, you could have 74 people out there telling you that Shedeur Sanders is, the future and that you should take him in every draft. And there's still going to be, 90% of the fantasy football consuming public that never hears a single bit of that discussion. So it's a little weird. It's a little, it's honestly very weird to have that sort of pull, but it is what it is. And it's all in service of growing the game. So if you like Mika, we all like Mika, and it's a Mika kind of season. That's right. This stream moves the market. That'll be DJ's next stream title. DJ, write this one down. Drafting to move the market or whatever, or just like Underdog's biggest market movers, or something like that. That could work as a title. All right, so let's take a quick look at my team. I think now we can move into the version, the hybrid version, where there's showing the board and the team names. So my team right now has 3 centers, 5 wings, 2 D, 2 goalies. 2 of those wings came super early, so I'm not particularly worried about getting any more wingers. If there's a good one that pops up, I will happily do so. But I would be fine making this even a 5 center build because, again, the flex position just being whatever, I think is very useful. I'm definitely going to grab another D-man. I'm definitely going to grab another goalie. But I don't think I need to take a 4th goalie. Definitely don't need to take a 4th defenseman. So I feel good about, taking 10 forwards of some variety, but I'm also not locked into a certain build at this point as far as the wing structure and the center structure. Coming into my pick, a few picks off the board: McCann, Landeskog, Luke Hughes, Marchand, Geeky, Monahan, Jet Greaves. So what a legend. With the anchor of Hellebuck goes Kochetkov and Greaves. So I'm here. Let's slap it up a bit with some Zeev Buium. And yeah, I'm good. Good taking Zeev. That's very fun. I like that. And I don't think I have any other stacking guys. So what I might do is I might just, you know what, I'm just going to dip down the board and grab Ryan Donato, because if I'm taking Connor Bedard, like, clearly something has gone right in Chicago. And I mean, Ryan Donato pretty much got there last year, even without something going right in Chicago. So yeah, it's super early, but I don't care about the late round goalie I'm taking. And there's a million options at forward for me to take. So let's just get that out of the way and make sure no one gets any funny ideas about my Chicago Blackhawks here. Tom says I may have waited a wee bit too late on D here. What's he looking at? Okay, yeah, McAvoy, your first D-man. You can certainly win with that. I firmly believe you can win with that, but definitely playing a fire. You got to get these next 2 picks right versus having a true anchor even a little bit earlier, like a Harley or Theodore Chikrin. You can actually afford, I think, to miss on a D pick and still, play yin and yang with 2 D-man throughout the course of the year and not be too poorly off. So yeah, Brandt Clark goes. We're just really decimating the donkey D targets. I will say, given my team's lean toward St. Louis, I have a goalie, I have a wing. I'm not ruling out Colton Parayko for this build, even though he's not an offensive guy. I again believe pretty strongly, and I wrote about it in last year's manifesto, that part of the reason stacking works is not necessarily the intra-week correlation among your players, but the intra-week correlation or the inter-week correlation among your stacks. So some team you stack having 4 games in 1 week means they're less likely to have 4+ games the following week. And so if you take enough of those stacks, you're going to find that you sort of manage to find just pockets where they fit like a zipper throughout the course of, a playoff stretch or just a regular season. And so taking a guy like Colton Parayko, who's going to just accumulate a bunch of blocks and stuff. Actually, I forgot I drafted Zeev. So I guess he's not on the table for me, but in the future, maybe note to future self, I can take my forward here and be fine with Colton Parayko. So in any case, though, to finish that thought, when Colton Parayko is, getting 20-ish points a week, yeah, it's not going to be great, but maybe when he plays 4 games in a week and the other guys only get 3 games and he manages to score an empty net goal or, something stupid, that score could be very valuable on my roster versus when I'm just taking Colton Parayko completely alone on an island with no other St. Louis Blues. Well, I'm not really betting on St. Louis's schedule playing into my playoff success or my single week scoring success at all. So it's less meaningful. I don't know. That's just a thought I have. I think that's sort of part of the nature of stacking. But all right. JS, I guess I missed while I was talking what he landed the plane with, but yep, he just got fed all the D-men. Very tough scenes there. DJ grabbing Brant Clark from bed. You know he was doing something else in that bed, I got to tell you. Can we fill another tonight? I will not be filling it, but if you guys can do it, Godspeed. Cam Fowler went in a draft. We actually talked about him on the St. Louis preview, I believe. And yep, very much not looking forward to it, believe it or not. All right, Jari just sort of makes it to me, so I'm just going to take him. Whatever. And I still need a forward. Let's scroll down a bit because life is fun. I could take a Vander. I don't know. That's fine. Can we live a little bit more? Oh yeah, we can. Let's live a little bit more. Actually, no. Actually, I saw Chris Kreider. I'm gonna take Chris Kreider. I think the Donkeys could he and haul their way to a Chris Kreider top power play job, and we know that he's one of the best in the business at what he does. So even though I don't have any other Anaheim Ducks, I think Chris Kreider is still perfectly fine to get me some spike weeks. Looks like we have need 8 in the next lobby, so I will not be joining it again. But if you guys want to go do that, it seems like we are at least trying to get another draft off tonight. Yes, I could have taken Ryan Hartman to pair with Zeev Buium. I guess the thought is on the bench in the third period. Zeev Buium will be on the bench because he's on the bench, and Ryan Hartman will be in the locker room because he's been suspended for the next trillion games. So that certainly was an option. I'm going to take a look at Nashville, see if there's any Nashville guys that I would consider next time pairing with Steven Stamkos. Obviously, Marchessault goes a little bit before this point. I think the Bunting dream is dead. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything here that I would take late to sort of backstack Steven Stamkos. Other thoughts, Pittsburgh definitely could have taken, there we go. Pittsburgh definitely could have taken Gino. I could have taken someone like McGroarty, who I believe will be playing on Russ line for the season. But that's, I don't know. I think that's pretty thin. I honestly prefer Chris Kreider, where we know he's done it from an NHL standpoint. Yeah, Price Fetchkov gets minutes. I would need to take another look at him because I don't think he has the per minute stuff that maybe that you're implying he does. Because I feel like I looked at this before. I won't do it now, but St. Louis. Pius Suter comes to mind, but that's way too thin. Buchnevich for the power play, sure. That's not even guaranteed to be the power play, of course, with Holloway, Kyrou, Thomas, like pretty much locks in my opinion. Again, they could go back to the split power play. We talked about this with Bolduc, though, I believe, on the last show. With Bolduc gone on the last show. I think Buchnevich is on that top power play, but Jimmy Snuggerud would have been another interesting guy. Again, Chris Kreider, I'm perfectly fine with. It's boring, but it gets the job done. Dallas, we know, is pretty much wiped clean. And then Chicago, I could have taken Will Cooley too, but I'm just not a huge Cooley guy. Again, I prefer Chris Kreider because he's a veteran and gets deference and whatnot. So yeah, ultimately, there's my slow draft thinking. Not anything unbelievable there, but just some extra thoughts for you. All right, I believe we are. Yeah, well, getting baited by Nashville Predators. Not the first time someone last year got absolutely just decimated by that sorry sack of a franchise. That's right. I did get the Kreider Mika pairing when Mika gets traded midseason to the Anaheim Clearinghouse. So that will look hot. Season total is 12.5 iCourse 4 per 60. I'm assuming that's all situations. One, that's not great, but two, just for some, any people out there interested, my rule of thumb is that about 18 plus is a great iCourse 4 per 60. 16 is quite good, 14 is average, and 12 is, kind of getting a little bit risky. That's when it comes to DFS, so we're only talking, top of the lineup type guys usually when it comes to DFS. So your actual mileage may vary when comparing to actual averages, but that's just sort of like what's been in my mind since 2016 when I was first writing fantasy hockey stuff. So there you have it. All right, guys. Thank you for bearing it out with me. I am going to shut it down there. I am not sure when the next episode will be. It'll be on DJ's channel because my plan when I work on hockey stuff will be to get an update to the manifesto ready. It's not going to be a full manifesto. It's going to be reacting to last year's manifesto with some new data and the new structure. So basically, like, did this assumption we made last year work in that season? And if not, why not? What can we learn from it? And also applying the new structure and the new scoring system to it. Not strong, the new advancement and the new flex scoring to it is what I'm looking to do. So that's work that is ongoing, and that's what I'll be putting up hopefully by sometime the end of next weekend. But yeah, if you don't, make sure you follow me. I'm at Fake Moods on Twitter. And yeah, make sure you follow DJ as well at DJ94. DM one of us if you want to get in our Discords. We've showcased that all night. Very useful stuff in there. Even more conversation and whatnot too. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Have a good night, and we will see ya.